Rangers, Houchin. Misford again. Referee plays the advantage. It's 4-on-2 here. Down to Misford. It's his and Coventry second.
Coventry are looking to add a second goal. A fine pass and a fine goal as well. George Thomas puts Coventry 2 goals up.
McNulty. Shipley there up with us. And Shipley deflected. Turning Wembley sky blue now.
Oh, lovely nutmeg from O'Hare. That was quite brilliant. And a chance for Eucharist. He slammed it in.
Good evening, welcome to Sky Blue Fans TV and welcome to the Sky Blue Tavern where we're coming live from tonight. You might hear a little bit of background noise, but hopefully you'll be able to hear us nice and loud and clear. Got a few guests for you tonight. I've got Stuart, he's alongside me. So Stuart, how you doing,
Hi
mate?
guys, yeah,
from
not too
All
bad,
Things Sky Blue.
Yep.
He'll be talking to us in a little bit about the ins and outs of the transfer window, etc, etc. Also tonight, all the way from France, believe it or not, we've got Ian Small. Ian, good evening.
Glad to join you.
How are we? You all right?
Yeah, good.
Nice and wet in France, I hear, yes?
Wet and cold, yeah.
Yeah, very much like here then. Very much like here. We've also got Mark Smith, who's normally hosting the programme. He's putting his feet up and he's in his Bedfordshire home tonight. Good evening, Mark.
Bonjour, Kenneth. How are we doing?
I'm not too bad, man. Thank you very much. Yeah. And of course, we've got the man's on the buttons and behind the scenes. He's doing a bit of producing for us tonight. He's also going to come on and give a few comments. Miles. Good evening. Good evening, Miles. All right, thank you very much. How are we all? I hope you can hear me okay with the background noise. You can hear me, can't you?
Yeah, all good.
It's quite busy in here tonight, believe it or not. It's not normally on a Thursday, but
I heard you were presenting, Ken. That's why.
That's
what I'll come for you now.
There's quite a few. The meals are going down quite well. Talking of meals, we have got a competition tonight on the go. So anybody who's listening and watching tonight, we've got a £25 voucher to give away for meals and drinks here at the tavern. All you have to do is like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and get your friends and colleagues and family to do that as well, and make a comment on tonight's live show. So you can see when you go on the show, you can make comments, and everybody that makes a comment tonight and likes our channel and subscribes will go into a draw, and we'll do the draw at the end of the show. We'll randomly pick somebody and they'll win a £25 voucher. Easy as that, nice and simple. You can't lose, can you? So that's brilliant. So make sure you if you are listening, make sure you just send a comment, who you are, and then we'll put you in a draw. So, right, okay, we're going to start with Stuart, who's alongside me from All Things Sky Blue.
Hello, everyone, you all right?
I hope you can see him there on the
Good
camera,
evening.
just about. We're going to start with Stuart, and he's going to tell us a bit about what he does. Tell us a little bit about your podcast, because you do a podcast, don't you?
Well, yeah, we do a Twitter space on at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night normally, till 10ish. Sometimes it can run over if it gets a little bit heated in the debates on Twitter, as it always does. But yeah, me and Josh and Michael as well. We just debate all things Sky Blue, everything about the transfers to the takeover, anything really. pretty much the same as you guys do. But obviously we just sort of do it on Twitter.
Okay. And tell us about the transfer window. How do you think about the transfer window? How do you think it's gone for us, the ins and outs? Because majority of people, or majority of fans I've spoke to, are quite happy that we kept all the victims.
You know, you've got to be happy when you keep the main one, especially anyway. It was linked with Everton, especially Everton. You know, I was always slightly dubious to a certain extent. I always thought there might have been a little bit of a late bid that they couldn't turn down, which is always worrying. You're always waiting for that Coventry business concluded part, aren't you?
Definitely.
You know, we were waiting for that before we could go to bed because you just never knew.
Yeah, midnight's a great time because it shuts, and that's it. We know it's safe.
But yeah, look, I think for any Sky Blues fan, it was a good time to be in it. You know, it was just good. You know, everything about it really, because we were still linked with people. You know, towards the end of the window anyway. I was surprised that the mention of Bidwell might have been going out. That surprised me a lot.
It did surprise me with Bidwell, to be fair, because he has been playing well the last couple of matches.
Bidwell. Yeah, he's been a solid sort of 6.5, 7 out of 10 every game, really. Nothing spectacular. Just does what he does, really. So I was surprised at that. I'm glad he didn't go, because I think it would have left us a little bit weak. But look, De Silva didn't happen. Probably going to happen in the summer, I would imagine, but you never know, do you? But look, we kept Gork. That was the main thing that we wanted to do, so it's got to be a positive window, really.
Big Vic was a massive one, wasn't it? Because it looked like at one stage Everton rumours of 25 million and all this. And I was a bit dubious. I thought, well, I'm not sure if they're going to pay that. And in the end, it proved right, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
There was no bids in the end. It was a lot of media hype, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
so. What happened?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go and talk to the chaps. Let's go and talk to Ian in France. Ian, how do you think the transfer window went for you, the ins and outs?
Well, I go back 4 weeks. We hadn't got the takeover approved. We were all nervous that 6 were going to have a fire sale.
Yeah.
And you know, we felt to it, oh, Vic will go, and maybe even Gus, and who knows. Suddenly the deal goes through. You're still a bit dubious because of this 15%. And then Cisa have gone. And, you know, I was out in the bare feet at 4 o'clock in the morning dancing when I heard that news. And then you get a centre half in who looks good. You get a couple of young wing backs in. I know one's gone back. You've got 2 players coming back from injury. Gyökeres stays. So I think, considering where we were a month ago, it's bloody marvellous, quite frankly. All of this nonsense about, well, we should have signed this and we could spend some money to get it. We will have a busy summer. We've got about 7 or 8 players leaving. And provided we can have a solid end to the season, I don't think we'll get to the playoffs. If we do, you know, it'll be remarkable. But I think a solid finish, keep the lads happy, keep the morale up. I think next season could be quite exciting.
Yeah, I mean, were you surprised about Big Vic? I mean, did you believe all the rumours? Because I was a bit sceptical myself.
A bit like your man Stuart there. I didn't think for a minute he'd be going. I don't think Mark Robbins would ever say there's 0 chance of that happening if he felt there was any chance of it happening. But you never know. And had anybody come in with a 22 million offer, and Robbins had got a couple of promising lads lined up, you never know. But they've stuck to their word. I mean, we've had 15 years of lies, hype, moving grounds, gone into administration. The fans have been treated like dirt. And for the first time, an owner says, I don't want to sell. And we didn't sell. I find that really encouraging.
Mark, encouraging for you, was it, the transfer?
You're mute, Mark.
It would help if I unmute myself, wouldn't it? Yeah, to To answer your question, I 100% agree with what Ian says. I thought the main thing for me is we kept our key players, particularly Gyökeres, obviously. We've added to, to be honest, Ian kind of covered everything I would say anyway. I think it's brilliant being a Coventry fan. I think the first time in a long, long time we could start to feel a bit more positive about things on and off the field. I think Doug King has been as good to his word. He said when he came that he didn't want to sell Victor Gyökeres, and he's done that. I personally wouldn't have wanted him to go at any price, really, because what's the point in selling a prized asset if you're not going to have time to replace him? So I think it'll be interesting what the summer brings. I'm not massively confident that he'll stay over the summer, but to have him now to the end of the season is a massive boost for the club. And let's see what happens. I think I agree with what Ian says as well about where we finish. I don't think we're going to be good enough for the playoffs. But what we can do, I feel, is if we can better where we finished last season, if we can get the top 10, I think that's progress. And I think that's all we can ask for as a fan is can we better where we finished last season? I think we had 63 points from our 46 games last season. So anything better than that and top 10, I think we'll be fairly happy with that personally.
Were you surprised that any players that you'd like to have seen come in and didn't come in? Was there any positions that you wanted filled that never came in, and you're a bit surprised that Robin's never bought, or are you quite happy with what we got?
I think the only other position I could have, Patterson would have been a nice signing, another attacking midfielder possibly, just to give Robin some options. If he wanted to play Gyökeres up front, you could have two fairly attacking number 10s. I think it gives competition to Allen as well. That's probably the only position I would have strengthened. I know we were linked with Jada Silva at Bristol City, and I think that would have been an interesting signing as well, because I think he's an ex-Chelsea player, and I think obviously AD Vivash has got quite close links with him as well. It wasn't to be, because I think Bristol City were looking for a player at Wimbledon, I believe, but that didn't come off, so we didn't end up getting him. But I think overall, I'd say it's definitely an 8 out of 10 window for us. I think it's probably one of our best January windows for a long time. I think it's been brilliant.
Yeah. Miles, what's your views on the ins and outs?
Absolutely rubbish. Fed up with it all. God, I'm glad January's out the way. I wish they'd sold Vic. I wish they'd sold Hamer. I wish they'd sold them all and then build a new team. No, I'm only kidding. It's fantastic, isn't it, to be honest with you? I mean, as these guys have just said, for Doug King to come in and Mark Robin said, we're not going to sell any players. Vic's not going anywhere. None of them are going anywhere. Is absolutely superb. And I'm with Ian on this one that I think if Sisu was still there, Doug King wasn't there, I think Vic would have gone, Hamer would have gone. They would have cashed in because they would have needed the money. And it would have been worrying times for us. But yeah, superb, absolutely brilliant. When was the last time we signed players in the January transfer window apart from one player? Like last January, one player, summer, signed one permanent player in the summer. We'd never had it before. So it's been fantastic, to be honest with you. And Wayne's just put up here, because I was going to mention, and it's spot on the nail. Good evening, Wayne. But if we can find some consistency, we're good enough, Mark. So we are. I think we are good enough. I think if we can get a consistency going, we've kept the key players. Vic's got to be happy now. He'll be buzzing for tomorrow night, Vic. For not being moved on. He'll be up for it. They'll all be up for it for tomorrow night, and it's just going to be good. And as Wayne said, if we can get consistency going, we'll be all right. Just look how we were just before the World Cup. It was fantastic. The run that we went on, and I believe that we could probably do it again. We could probably go on that run again, especially with the run of games we've got coming up as well. So, yeah, it's good. January was good. Very good.
And was there any players that you'd hoped that Robbins would buy and they haven't, and he hasn't? Any positions needed filling, do you think? We could have done with another midfielder, maybe another centre half, and he didn't get on. But are you happy with what we got to go with what we've got?
Yeah, I probably think that I would have liked another midfielder just to fill in the gap, because I think Kelly's been a fantastic servant for the club. he's had his time. I think, there's no threat there with him. I think that maybe he could have moved him on, brought someone in. I hear that the Patterson deal probably fell through because they wanted too much money, and he's out of contract at the end of the season, so that will probably come at the end of the season. And do you know what? I'll probably, if I was Mark Robbins, I probably would have gone for the Wrexham striker, to be honest with you, Paul Mullin. I think. Yeah, I think I would have liked to have gone and got him in the January transfer window. I think it might have been worth the gamble, to be honest with you. That would have been. He knows where the goal is, and I think he would have been a good little replacement if Godden gets injured again or someone like that. So, yeah, that's probably what I would have loved to have seen, Paul Mullin come to the club. But you never know, do you? It's one of them.
Yeah.
He would never move.
No, not now. I don't think.
No, well, that's it. I mean, it would have been nice, but you can't always get what you hope for. I'm, for one, quite happy with the transfer window. I was happy with keeping in all our big guns, and we got rid of a bit of dead wood, didn't we, along the way? Which helped ease the wages, I suppose, which we needed to do. Let's go back to Stuart. Stu, players coming back from injury. We've got a few, haven't we? Godden, Faz.
Well, we've got the wall, haven't we?
Yeah.
The wall's coming back.
Where do you think they're going to fit in? They're going to come straight back in, do you think? Or Godden? I mean, Godden looked okay when he come on the other day, didn't he?
He did. He should have scored, to be fair. On a normal day, I think he would have scored.
Yeah.
I think it may be too early for Fads to come straight back in.
Yeah.
He'll be on the bench.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that, that we're 1-0 up, 20 minutes to go. You bring the wall on, and he just saves us, doesn't he? I think. And then the next home game, he starts and he has a massive round of applause when he starts.
Yeah.
I think that's what I would like to see happen. I think it is slightly too early for him to come straight back in the side. I'm not sure about Godden. I think Godden did enough in his cameo to maybe push for a start. Alan looks a little bit like he's on his legs slightly, so I may rest Alan and play Godden up front and play Palmer behind Gork and Godden.
Yeah.
But look, you've got to give. I keep forgetting the lad's name. The new lad, striker.
Which one?
Maguire.
Striker. What's his name? Maguire.
He can play in midfield as well, can't he?
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can play to number 10 as well. So, look, depending on what they're doing in training, because obviously we don't see that bit, there might be a chance for him to start. Again, I think it might be, slightly too early, but I'd like to see Godden and Gork start up front again for me.
So would you go for the two? I mean, we had this debate would you go for two up front then, rather than one?
Yeah, I think our best 11 is with a 2 up front, personally.
Leaving out who then in midfield?
Probably Alan, if I'm honest. Yeah. And because Alan's got legs.
Yeah.
If you need somebody to come on, if like you said, Miles, a minute ago about Kelly, Alan gives you that legs in central midfield if you need to replace Sheaf or Hamer, or even if Godden or Gork gets injured, heaven forbid.
Yeah.
You can go to that box midfield again because they know how to play. It just gives you options, And look, I'm not a massive fan of his, but you've got Walker coming back as well. Walker.
Eccles as well.
I know, sorry, Miles.
Don't mention
Oh no! Don't mention Walker. No.
Look,
seriously,
it's a good player. You've got to give him a go.
What time did you start drinking, Stuart?
No, Stuart, no. Seriously,
he's only on his first pint. Look, he's only on his first pint.
Oh God!
Look, it's last scenario. All right.
it's way last scenario. That is, mate.
Come on. I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not. But look, it gives us an option, doesn't it?
What? What option? what option? Come
Anyway,
on.
look.
No, hold on. I want to know what option. Come on.
No.
Everyone said it about Waggy.
No.
Come on,
No,
what
no
option can Walker give us? Come on.
And he lets us play 2 up front still, doesn't he?
Yeah, but we're better with 1 up front. You're better off playing Vic up front. You're better off playing Vic up front on his own.
Look, he works harder than Waghorn. Slightly. He does. He does. So he can just run after the ball.
Oh God.
Anyway, look, let's talk about. We're talking about the new players. Let's talk about the other new lad that came in. We're on about Maguire, who had a bit of a cameo. He had about 10 seconds, didn't he, Maguire?
Yeah.
We couldn't really judge him on that.
McNally,
the defender from Burnley,
class.
Fantastic, didn't he?
Absolutely class.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody start the game and just be so composed.
Yeah.
Every time he got the ball, that's how you know you've got a class player, because he just looked like he had so much time on the ball.
Yeah.
It was unreal. And he was absolutely brilliant. You know, there was a couple of times when I thought, there might be a little bit of mistake, but no, he recovered really, really well. He was just brilliant. And I hope, touch wood, that in the summer, you know, if Burnley do go up, which it looks like they are, I think he's not going to make it for the Burnley first team, that we've got a chance of signing him permanently, let alone on loan. Yeah. You know, a permanent signing of McNally would absolutely be brilliant. Because I think, look, it's one game. You can only take so much. Let's see what he's like against the West Brom.
Yeah.
You know, when they've got forward line, they've got stronger in the January transfer window. You know, Mark Albrighton's come. He's gonna boss that midfield in most games. You know, but when we've got Hamer and Sheaf, you can't argue. They're probably the best two central midfielder partnership in the Championship, personally. You know, so anything can happen. But back to McNally, brilliant, absolutely superb.
Yeah. Okay, Ian, what's your views on the 2 up front or 1 up front scenario?
Against West Brom away, we would be foolish to play 2 up front. They will boss the midfield anyway if we're not careful. So we've got to have an extra man back. Casey Palmer can play in that 10 role, but I think we've got to have a broad bank of 4 or 5 across the middle. I would be going there to stifle West Brom. We know Vic can explode on the break, and if Casey or somebody can back him up on the edge of the box, then fine. I don't think Jamie Allen's the answer tomorrow night. I think I'd almost be inclined. I don't know how many minutes Kelly or Eccles between them possibly, but we can use 5 subs these days. I would be inclined to pack the midfield out, protect McNulty, Doyle and Panzo the best we can. We've got to double up on their wide players because we're not brilliant at defending wide, especially on Bidwell's side. He's got no pace. So I think to play 2 up front tomorrow would be a thrashing. I think they would cut us apart like Norwich did, if I'm honest, because West Brom are in a big vein of form. They've changed their manager, they've changed their style, and they won't give us an inch. I think if we play the first 45 minutes solid, compact, restricting them to very little, the last 20 minutes, who knows? I think we'll be lucky to get a point because we are in transition. We've got a new lad at the back. We've got we've got players that are playing out of position. Doyle's out of position but playing brilliantly. I think we'll do well to get a point. Who knows, if we hold them and stifle them and the crowd get on their back, we might get a breakaway last 20 minutes. And then, if we snatch a 1-0, I might swallow some humble pie about not having to go for the playoffs, because if we can beat them, beat Luton and beat Millwall, then I'll be sitting back thinking, hang on a minute, something's happening here. But I think 1 up front tomorrow.
Yeah.
Can't need
I probably tend to agree with that. Robbins tends to, away from home especially, just play the one up front, doesn't he? And I think he'll probably will go with that tomorrow. Mark,
If you have a look at what we did at Watford,
yeah,
have a look at what we did at Watford.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
we were lucky. They missed a couple of sitters.
Yeah.
We really stifled them.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and they're a good side, Watford, and West Brom are a good side as well. And Mark, I know you'd go one up front, wouldn't you, Mark, as well?
Yeah, I agree with what Ian said. I think for this game tomorrow, I'd go one up front. I don't think two up front is the way to go. I think being your away team against West Brom, I think it's about, as Ian said, trying to frustrate them, stifle them. Hope the crowd can get on their backs a bit. I think we can go there tomorrow. We can get a result. I think we're good enough to go to West Brom and win. I mean, we beat them obviously 1-0 at the CBS. I thought it'd be interesting to see how West Brom play, because I think when they came to our place in December, they were very, very defensive, I thought, and they were looking to hit on the counter. Whereas I think this time they have to come on at us, and I think that might play to our strength. You only have to look back to the game, for example, at Watford, where we were fantastic that game, and there's no reason why we can't put in a similar performance tomorrow night. And I probably wouldn't make any changes for this game. The only possible scenario is Rose fit. Could he come in for Panzo? Is possibly a question, but I would imagine that it'll be an unchanged side tomorrow. So I think we go into this game. It was really important to beat Huddersfield. I thought that was a really, really important 3 points. That would give us a bit more belief. Now we've had a good window. We've kept Jokovic. We've kept all our best players. I think we can use this as a bit of momentum for tomorrow, because next 3 games could be crucial for you look at the rest of the season. We're playing teams above us. We're playing teams around the playoffs. We've got Luton after this game. We've got Millwall. They're all massive games. If we can get around, say, 7 points in them 3 games, I think we'd be absolutely delighted with that. And I think then I'll be joining Ian in swallowing my humble pie as well, because I'm still not 100% convinced we're going to get playoffs. I feel like we've got a mistake in us at the back, and that's why I don't feel massively confident. I think going forward we're a good side. But I think tomorrow, as I say, I would go be a bit more defensive. But I think we've got a chance tomorrow. I really do. I think I don't think West Brom are invincible. If you look at their form, they've lost the last couple of games. They've lost to Burnley, but they lost to Bristol City in the cup. A few changes. Obviously, as I think the West Brom fan, we're coming on in a couple of minutes, and obviously one thing to take into account is they have made a couple of signings in the window. Albrighton, I think from Leicester, and is it Chalobah from Fulham. So be interesting to see if they feature tomorrow and how their side lines up.
Yeah, we'll chat to him in a couple of minutes. He'll be back. He'll be on in a couple of minutes, won't he, Miles?
Yeah.
Are you ready to come on in a minute?
He's not here yet, but he's
not here yet. Right, okay.
Yeah, I'll just speak to him. Yeah.
Okay, Miles. How about your? I know you. Would you stick with the same team or what tomorrow night? Or would you make any changes?
I don't think Fadz's start would be fantastic if he does, but as I was Stuart was saying, I think it's a little bit too soon. I think he'll be on the bench, give us a presence on the bench. I think it worked on Saturday when we all seen the bench and how much stronger it was. It was fantastic, wasn't it, to see a bench like that for first time in about 2-3 months, really, that we had a real good, strong bench to fall back on. So I think Fad's a start on the bench. I believe that we'll go one up front, same as Ian. I think we'll try and swamp out the midfield. I think Schiefer just dropped back a little bit just to sweep up in front of Callum Doyle, which he's been doing fantastic lately, Ben Sheaf. When all of a sudden the ball comes through and there's Ben Sheaf and he just sweeps it up and he brings it away. He's just, for me, Ben Sheaf's just been an absolute breath of fresh air the last few months. He is so improved. He's been unbelievable. So I believe that we'll go one up front. I think that I like the idea where how fit Eccles is, maybe give Alan a rest, because Alan's played a lot of game time. He's captain. So, he may be dropped, but then who are you going to give the captaincy to? So I could see Alan starting, but it would be nice if he gave way, brought Eccles in, because that's his natural position. A bit of young legs in the middle just to freshen it up a little bit. But do you change a team that won 2-0 comfortably on Saturday? And they were comfortable, as Stuart mentioned about McNally. He had all the time in the world on the ball. It was fantastic. He weren't even running with it. He was walking with it most of the time. So do you keep that team and you stick with it, or do you just tweak it a little bit? But I think he'll stick. I don't think he'll go bust. I don't think he'll go 2 up front. I think it'd be suicide if you go 2 up front tomorrow night. I really do. But, I'll take 1 up front all day long, to be honest with you. Have I missed something? Did I hear Ian say that one of the loanees has gone back? Has Esban gone back then?
Wilson Esban's gone back to Man City.
Has he? I missed that. Was that today then?
Last day of the window. I think it was yesterday or the day before.
How did I miss that?
Is it
Yeah, I missed that as well.
Who's the lad who's gone abroad? He had a bust up.
Esban.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Man City. Silicio.
Yeah,
He's gone, and they bought Wilson Esban back as cover.
Okay. Right.
I missed that then.
Double check, but that's what I read. I mean, I don't have the same reliable info as you guys, but I did read that on either Coventry Telegraph or Coventry Live, so it's probably incorrect.
Definitely missed it. Ken, you Albion fans here now, mate?
Okay, then let's go to him. Let's go and join Mike from All Things Albion.
Hello, guys. Thank you very much for having me.
Good evening, mate. How are you? Are you all right?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, yeah. I've got might be a bit of noise in the background because I'm in the pub actually, but we're doing our show live from a pub tonight. Our local pub.
Sounds like a good place.
Believe it or not, we're not drunk. We're all right. But we've come out and about to do it, and we've got a couple of guests here as well. So we're just going to chat to you from there. What's the season? So a bit of an up and down season for you, then, isn't it? Really? So
it has, yeah.
The new manager and stuff.
Yes.
Things are looking a bit more rosier for you than they did under Steve Bruce.
Yeah, that's definitely a way of putting it. Yeah, we were very poor at the start of the season. There was high hopes. Obviously, we made some decent signings. Wallace and Yakushlu on the free being the sort of 2 highlights. And then, unfortunately, under Steve Bruce, we were just getting worse and worse. He just, finally got rid of him. But since Carlos Corbrand's come in, besides yourselves and Burnley, we've had positive results. But I've got to say, I'm not just saying this because I'm on a Coventry podcast. Besides Burnley, since Corbrand's come in, you guys are the best team we've played. You played us off the park that night when you beat us 1-0.
Now, how about your new manager? How do you rate your new manager compared with Bruce? I mean, what sort of changes had he made to make you? I mean, you haven't changed a hell of a lot of players, have you? Really, so mainly the same sort of players, but obviously the manager changed the way you play a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's the attention to detail. I mean, the stories that came out after Steve Bruce left was that he wasn't really, as present as I suppose you would hope so. Whereas since Corbrand's come in, there's been a lot more attention to detail. He's quite clearly inspiring the players because you can see our turnaround in form, and he's started to get more of a balance in the whole team, really. And I think the sort of case in point was when we played Bristol City, I think it was last weekend. We played more players that were more regular under Steve Bruce, and we got beat 3-0. So I think he's changed the team around as best he could. But I think also, he's inspired the players to perform a lot better. And I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. I think it's going to be a close one. I think we're both, I don't want to sort of go off on a tangent, but there's, we're both teams that are hovering around the playoffs. So I think you're 3 points behind us. So it's going to be a close one. And I think it's a big game, especially for us.
Who we got to look out for tomorrow then? Who's the danger men in your team?
Well, obviously we've got Mark O'Brien's just been signed from Leicester. I think he's a good signing. I know he's 33, but I still think he's got a lot to offer, especially with Matt Phillips being injured. I think Jed Wallace has been one of our standouts. I'd imagine we'll start with Daryl DK, maybe not. We might start with Brandon Thomas-Asante, but they're both decent strikers. But yeah, I think mainly the wings. Yakushlu, he's been one of our better players as well. So we have got a few decent players, to be fair. So there's a few things to look out for. But how are you guys feeling about the game anyway? What's your thoughts?
Well, personally, I think it's going to be a close game. I mean, we don't tend to get too much luck when we go to the Hawthorns, because I've seen over the years us get beat quite heavily in quite a few games over there.
I still remember the 7-1 in the brown kit.
I thought you were going to bring that up, Ian. I knew you were going to bring that up.
I was there.
Cyril Regis days, yes.
I lived in West Brom at the time.
Did you? Yeah. It's not a very lucky ground for us. Even though we got a point there last year, and you missed a penalty, didn't you, in the last minute, if I remember?
Yeah.
Ben Wilson saved a penalty, so that was a good point for us, really. But yeah, we don't tend to have much luck there, and I think it's going to be a close game. I think we've got a few players coming back from injury now. So we're looking a bit stronger than we did a few weeks ago when we were down to the bare bones. We managed to keep all our big players in the transfer window, which is a massive boost for us. Because there's a lot of talk of players going here and there, but we managed to keep hold of them, which was a fantastic boost. And I think the team will be boosted by that, and I think we'll put a good performance in tomorrow night. And I'm looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be quite close. I mean, Miles, what do you think? How do you think the game's going to go tomorrow night?
I think it'd be close. I think it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. And I just want to say to Mike, brilliant gesture by West Brom tomorrow night, celebrating with us. Cyril Regis, I think absolutely superb. I'm looking forward to that. Got my scarf up here ready to bring down the Hawthorns tomorrow night. So Big Cyril will be coming with me. I mean, that's just going to be special altogether on its own, celebrating Big Cyril. So I think it'd be a close one. I think it'd be a draw tomorrow night. I'd love a win. We all love a win. I'd love to take 6 points off them, but it is a tough place to go to. I'd take a draw. I'm going to sit on the fence like Mark does for a change. I'm going for a draw, really, but it's going to be tight, real tight.
You go for a draw tomorrow night?
Talking to me, sorry.
Mark, yeah. No, sorry.
It's not to me or Ian.
Mark Smith.
Mark, I think he said.
Yeah, mate. I think we can win tomorrow night. I'm confident about this one, which is amazing. I can't believe Miles sitting on the fence and I'm not. So I think that's probably the biggest shock of tonight's podcast. But I agree. I think it's going to be a tough game. I don't see many goals in this game. There being about a 3-2 thriller probably now. I've said that, but no, I think we can. I think we can get a result tomorrow. Why not? I think. The West Brom have made a couple of good signs. I think Albrighton is a good player. He did very well at Leicester. I think that's a very good signing. Chaloba, I don't know as much about, but they're always a good side. West Brom. I mean, they're going to be dangerous, no doubt about it. We've got to be our best tomorrow. But I think we can get a result. I think if we can keep it tight and frustrate them, I think we can definitely win. But I also want to concur with what Miles said about Cyril Regis. I know Albion Mike are doing some kind of fundraiser for the Cyril Regis charity. I think tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah, I read a couple of things, but I'm going to the game tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to it as well. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great event. It's great, that sort of we're honouring a legend. And I'm looking forward to the game as well, because going to what you guys say, it will be a close-run game. And if you bring the same intensity that you did, that high press in the first game, we are going to struggle, but it'll, have to wait and see what happens. I'm a lot more confident that we might get a result under Carlos Corberán than I ever was under Steve Bruce.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I was feeling the same at the CBS. I thought Corberán, because when we played you at the CBS,
right.
I think you won about 4 or 5 on the trot or something, and I wasn't feeling that confident. Yeah. We managed to win 1-0. So I'm hoping that history repeats itself, obviously, from my point of view. But I think it'll be a good game nonetheless, whatever happens. I'll hand it back to Ken.
Okay, Ian, can we get a result tomorrow night?
We can. Will we? I'm not sure. I think West Brom are in a good vein of form. They've brought in 2 class signings. I would be delighted with a scrappy 0-0, and that sounds awfully negative. But Mike, you were talking about the high press and how we played against you in December. we haven't got Callum O'Hare anymore. And you might have missed that, but he's out for the rest of the season with an ACL rupture. He was the heartbeat of our side. And ever since then, we haven't quite looked the same. We've got a lad called Casey Palmer who might cause you some problems, but he never does in the last 10 minutes. He tends to be a sort of 60, 70-minute player at the minute because of his stamina. I'll go for a draw like Miles, I'll edge it. I will be delighted with the draw. I've got a feeling West Brom might have a bit too much for us, if I'm honest. And, that's me being honest. If you want my heart, yeah, we'll win 3-0. But, my head tells me it's going to be tough.
Okay, I'm going to go for a win, 2-1 win myself. Stuart, what are you going for tomorrow night?
I think two things might happen. First of all, the real answer is I think we're gonna draw. Either a 0-0, 1-1. It's going to be a close fought game. Two good teams going at it. We're good enough to get a win, and I hope we do win. But I think we'll draw. Or the other scenario will be we absolutely batter and Tyler Walker scores 2 goals. It's one of them, isn't it? That's just for you, Miles.
I thought you want to upset it.
Mike, you have to understand, Mike from West Brom, that this lad is going back into daycare after the podcast. All right.
Can I ask you a question, Mike? Your 2 players you've signed, obviously, absolute quality signings. Do you think your side really needed to strengthen that much?
I think we did. Yeah, I think because Matt Phillips got injured, there was a desperate need for a winger. And I think as well, we needed. I mean, I don't know, centre midfield. It's a bit of a funny one because we do have, we've got Yakushlu and we've got Jason Malumbi there, and they both perform very well. But there's no harm in having that strength in depth. It'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I think definitely, in terms of Albrighton, since Matt Phillips got injured, we've really struggled on the left wing. We've got Jeb Wallace on the right, and Matt Phillips was doing a good job on the left. But since he got injured, there was definitely the need for it. So yeah, I think we strengthened well, considering our lack of budget, considering that our controlling shareholder wants to take money out of the club rather than put money in. And I know, you guys have had your problems with owners as well, and Botfield problems, to say the very least. But yeah, so I think considering the budget, it was good business from us.
Okay.
Can I ask a question of you, Mike? What happened to the lad Swift that you bought in? Because he got the most chances created last season, didn't he? The most assists.
Yeah, I think between him and Wallace, they were sort of 2 of the sort of outstanding performers of the Championship. The problem with Swift a little bit is he drifts in and out of games, and he can go missing for very large chunks of game, even complete games. Sometimes you'll do a bit of quality, and if you look on a highlight reel on YouTube, you probably you think, well, this guy's quality. But the problem is, for a long period of time, and like I said, even a whole game, sometimes you'll think, oh yeah, John Swift was playing. I completely forgot. Because he just doesn't do it consistently enough. But like I said, there has been times he has done quality things.
Right.
Okay. Where do you think you're going to finish then, Mike, in the season? Do you think you're going to be up there? What are you looking for? Playoffs?
Yeah, I think playoffs is the most realistic target. I mean, that's dreamland for us. I mean, what was it? 3 months ago, we were bottom of the league, if that. So. Yeah, I'm hoping with Chalabar and Albrighton, they're going to add that little bit of quality. But yeah, if you sort of offered me the playoffs now, I'd be absolutely over the moon. There was a very optimistic thought, well, could we make the top 2 when we're winning game after game after game? But I think sort of Burnley was a big reality check. And I think, my hope is we'll finish in the playoffs. And I think if we continue the form we're on, that's hopefully where we'll end up. What about you guys? Where are you sort of aiming for playoffs as well?
That's a good question because I think now we've got players coming back, people have got a bit more hope than they did have a few weeks ago when we were down to the bare bones and we were sort of looking down rather than up. But yeah, I don't see any reason if we, on our day, as you know, this league, anybody can beat anybody in this league. Top can beat bottom on any given day, can't they? We've had that experience ourselves.
Yeah.
So, there's no reason why. I know we've got Callum O'Hare out for the season. We've got other players, important players, coming back from injury now, which will make us stronger. We've kept all our big players in the transfer window. So I don't see any reason why we can't push for a playoff place. The next 2 games after West Brom are Luton and Millwall, so we'll be looking to pick up some points from them, both at home. So with the start we had, obviously, the start of the season with all the pitch fiasco and everything, I think we'll all be happy with a top 10 finish. Most of the fans will be. I certainly will be happy with a top 10, but if we can go for the playoffs and an opportunity arises, you never know, do you? In football, you never say never. I certainly say yes, we certainly can. Ian, do you think we can get the playoff?
We can, but we would need a lot of luck and a lot of outstanding performances. And without Callum O'Hare, I don't see it. I'm with Mark Smith on this. I think if we improve on last season's 12th, for me, that would be, as you just said, Ken, considering the start we had to the season with all the off-season nonsense, the injury to Callum O'Hare, number 1, the second injury, Fads being out, I think 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th would be progress. And I think we'll just miss out, but we'll be energised for next season. So I think we're going to have a busy summer.
Yeah, I'd be happy with, obviously, a top 10 finish. Miles, would you be happy with a top 10 finish?
Listen, we're going to finish in the playoffs. I've said it all along. I said it at the beginning of the season. We're still finding a new way to play without O'Hare. The players are starting to click again. They're learning to play without O'Hare. And I believe we'll finish 6th and West Brom will finish 7th.
Well, I'm sure that'll go down well.
I'm not taking that. Not a million years.
How to welcome you guests?
I don't mind 5th and 6th, but not 6th and 7th.
You're going to miss out on goal difference.
You're going to miss out because you've got you start with a C and we start with a W. They're going to do that with alphabetical order.
Yeah, that's it. Alphabetical order. Same goal difference and everything.
Okay, let's bring in Stuart. Stuart, can we finish? Where do you say we're going to finish?
Top 10. I think.
We'll be happy with top 10.
Yeah, realistically, I think top 10. I think the lads have, hit the nail on the head. Look, with a little bit of luck, we might finish top 6. We're good enough, definitely good enough on our day. It's just whether we have our day often enough. But look, as long as we improve on last season, anywhere top 10. I've said top 10 from the start of the season, if I'm honest. But like I said, a little bit of luck, and you just never know.
Yeah.
And then it's a lottery in the playoffs.
Yeah, I quite agree. Mike, who do you fear from Coventry City's team? Who do you look to and think, they may cause us problems tomorrow night?
I think the main thing was, like I said, the style of play that you played against us. I'm sorry to hear about sort of your main player O'Hare being injured, but if he was sort of like the main push of that, I think personally it was the style of play. I think if you bring that intensity, we're quite a high press intense team ourselves, so we can weirdly be susceptible to the same sort of tactics. So I think if you bring that, but obviously that was when you're at home and now you're away, so it'd be interesting to see. In terms of complete specifics, I haven't sort of kept up massively with what Coventry are doing and which players to look out for. But I just think in terms of, like I said, the style of play, if you bring that sort of intensity again, it'll be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to seeing how the dynamic of playing at the Hawthorns changes things, really. But yeah, I feel like, and like I said, I don't want to be disrespectful, but if we're on our game, Corbrand, sort of brings that intensity that we got, I feel like we could get a result.
It's going to be. Is it a sellout tomorrow night from your point of view? I mean, I know we sold all our tickets.
Yeah, you sold out. When I had a look, I don't think they've announced it was a sellout. When I had a look the other day when I booked my tickets, there were still seats available. There wasn't a lot available, but there was some available. So I don't think it is yet because I don't think they've announced anything, but it's going to be very close to it.
What's your attendance has been like this season? I mean, are the fans getting behind the new manager? Are you having sellouts or are you having a lot of empty seats?
Under Bruce, it was very much pick your seat because I think people are a bit fed up. Since Corbrand's come in, it's been a lot different. But obviously, like I said, I don't want to go too far into the weeds, but we've had our off-field problems. Action for Albion are doing a fantastic job with supporting the team, not the board. So there's been sort of disgruntlement among the fan base, say the very least, about our ownership. But yeah, on the pitch, everyone's very supportive of Carlos Corbrand. He's brought, something that we could only dream about 3 months ago. We were back in contention for the playoffs. And I think there's a lot more positivity around the fan base than there was 3 months ago.
Okay, fair enough. Mark Smith, can we get to the playoffs?
I think it's a big ask, personally. I think if we're going to do that, we need to win properly our next 3 games. I think if we can do that, then we've got a great chance because we're playing the 3, West Brom, Luton, Millwall are all teams that are above us, as I said earlier. So if we can get 7 points in them 3 games, then absolutely we've got a chance. But we can't kid ourselves. They're not going to be easy games. But I'd be happy with top 10. It'd be good to get to the playoffs, but I mean, you look at who we lost recently. We lost to Norwich, and they're what, 6th or 7th in the league. So I mean, that just shows that. I find it unbelievable the way they play. But I'm not massively confident about that. I think I don't think we're quite ready for the playoffs yet. But you never know. If we get 7 points, then who knows? But my gut feeling tells me, I think top 10 is a good season, and I think whatever happens, we just got to enjoy the ride. I think for now, because I think we're starting to get our mojo back a bit. So, but overall, I'd say 10th is probably where we end up. As long as we do better than we did last season, and I'll be happy with that. Really,
I think we're all more optimistic, all of us, than we were a few weeks ago. We can all say that, can't we? Mike from All Things Albion, thanks very much for joining us tonight, and good luck with the Cyril Regis thing. We'll be all there tomorrow night. Most of us are going tomorrow night, so we'll be all there, and we'll certainly be supporting you when it comes to Cyril Regis.
Boing, Mike. Boing.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for having us. Boing.
Thanks, Mark.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Mike. Cheers, mate. Right, okay, we're going to have a short ad break now. We're going to come back. I'll just remind you of the competition we've got going. If you like and subscribe to our channel and make a comment on tonight's show, you'll go into the draw and you can win a £25 voucher to spend for food and drinks here at the Sky Blue Tavern where we are tonight. So it's a fantastic place and the food is fantastic as well. So we all know, we've all been here, I think, so we've all sampled. So we'll have a short ad break. We'll be back shortly to talk more Sky Blues.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, good evening. Welcome back to Sky Blue Fans TV. Welcome back to Sky Blue Tavern, where we're here tonight doing a live show. I've got Stuart from All Things Sky Blue sitting next to me. He's only had 1 pint, by the way. Oh, welcome there.
Sounds like he's got about 2 or 3 by the way his comments have been tonight.
Hey, less than that, less than that.
I'm thinking 4 or 5.
I just reminded you about the competition. I'll just remind you again, there is a competition going on, £25 voucher for food and drinks at Sky Blue Tavern. If you like our channel, subscribe to it and comment on tonight's show. Is there any more comments to have a look at, Mark or Miles?
Yeah, I could bring some up.
Go on,
There's quite a few actually. We'll go all the way back to the beginning.
Do you want to start
with me? Yeah, I've got it. I've got a fan called Cov. He woke up this morning and he was feeling fine.
Nice and easy, yeah.
Love it. We'll get that song out very shortly. Does Fad start on Friday? Well, we've already spoken
Not
about
for
that.
me.
I think the lads have
Not yet.
not ready yet.
Too early. I
Yeah,
think too
not
early.
ready.
Yeah, too early.
Yeah, too early. Glenn's put up great transfer window. Yeah, we were talking about that at the beginning of the show.
Fantastic.
Very good transfer window to keep hold of everyone. Yeah. What else we got? Cov again. Jokeres has got more goals and assists than MBAs.
All right. Okay.
Probably West Brommy, man.
Is that a typo?
I think
I'm
so.
going WBA.
WBA.
Could be
Yeah,
coming.
where's WBA?
He's got the M upside, the M's upside down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's upside down, bless him. And then we got Glenn's popped up again, says McNelly, JWE, BNC, and Maguire, great business in the transfer window. Keeping Vic, Sheaf, O'Hare. Well, we're going to keep O'Hare anyway, aren't we? Because he's injured. Hamer, massive till the summer. Playoffs on if we win 2 out of the next 3. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take that all day long, won't we?
Absolutely.
What else we got here? I think I'll put this one up here. Early one, Wayne put if we get consistency going, we should be all right, I think. And then we've got Cobb Andy. Where is it? If it wasn't for the World Cup break, we would be in or closer to the playoff places. We'd probably be in there now, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That break. That break came with the
I
wrong.
think it was O'Hare's injury that did it.
Yeah.
I think it was
Boxing
the
Day.
break
Yeah,
as well.
Boxing.
Yeah, definitely. Nation Radio, Mullin probably on more money than we could afford offering. Yeah,
Maybe not now. Maybe not. Yeah, we might
Well,
probably
Rex
put a
is
little
on
bit more.
£4.5 away.
Yeah.
Really?
Then we got Ian's lad here, Reese. Good evening, Reese. Dad, have you had a shave haircut for tonight's pod? Looking fresh as a daisy for once.
Oh.
Have you? Have you? Have you had a shave?
No.
Was it? There's quite a few, but some of them repeat themselves, so bear with me. Yeah, we commented on this earlier. Wilson saved a penalty last season in the dying minutes. In fact, actually, Ken, if you remember when we interviewed Ben, he said he wondered how he never got sent off before the penalty. Do you remember when he said he went up to the referee calling him up?
Yeah. Because it was an awful... Never a penalty, was it? It was an awful decision, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Rightly.
That's it.
And it was in the last minute again, stoppage time. And it didn't look for the penalty from where we were. And then when I seen it again on telly, it was awful. It was nowhere near it.
Dive,
Terrible.
definitely dive. Feta D's con. Good evening, Feta. I hope you're all right, Feta. Now, Feta's caring for his mum, Gran, at the moment. She's got Alzheimer's. So, good evening, Feta. Hope you're all right, mate. I hope you're not getting too stressed. But keep watching us. Back 3 tomorrow night. From right to left, McNally, Fads, Doyle, Shawley. Yeah, could possibly. I think it's a bit too soon for Fads, though. Keno
I think
Tomo.
that back 3 could work against Luton and have
definitely.
Panzo,
Panzo
and the other guy wing backs.
Yeah, that's it. Sheaf for armband, Keno Tomo. Yeah, it could do if he drops Allen and puts Eccles in, I suppose. I thought you could give the armband to Ben Wilson because he's very vocal, and you need someone really, really vocal, don't you? Feta D's put in here, would like to see Burrows featured. The only full game he's played this season was at Watford, and we beat them. Yeah, absolutely. What a game that
was outstanding. He played well that game as well, didn't he?
And he's very quick.
I think there's a good omen for tomorrow, though, because Ken, me, and Mark are going. Ian, you're not coming, unfortunately, and Reece isn't, but we beat Watford, didn't we, when we were all there?
We were all there,
so maybe it could be a good sign. Where are we?
The three amigos.
Yeah. So JWE hasn't gone back to Man City. It was rumoured a lot on social media, but Andy Turner shot it down as hogwash.
Well,
Thanks for that. Well, that is good news.
Yeah.
Good news.
Yeah, I thought I was panicking.
I think he had an injury, didn't he? He had an injury.
Yeah.
I read it was as cover because the first choice left back went off.
Cancelo.
Yeah. Did he get
Madrid
or Barcelona?
Yeah, Cancelo.
Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah, he's got Bayern Munich. Yeah. Would have loved Cov to have signed Albrighton. Very good signing for West Brom. Yeah, wages though, we ain't got the money for wages, have we? To be honest with you, Feta D's going for 2-2 tomorrow night. Glenn's going for 2-1 tomorrow night. Keep in touch with the top six. Mick Davenport's put up here. You sure, Mark? Have you been drinking? Saying we're going to win.
I'm just down this water here, so not quite a beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what he was on about, but there you go.
No.
Right, is that all the comments?
I'll be drinking that if we win tomorrow night, though, of course. But
yeah, just one more. I've got to put this up for Stu there. Yeah, one more. Walker scoring 2.
Wow.
No.
Obviously, someone's been drinking somewhere.
Tongue in cheek.
I think what they're really saying is they want me to sit on the fence because if you lose and it's my fault, it's basically what they're trying to say, really. So I'll be taking the blame if you don't win tomorrow night.
Yeah,
so it's fine.
No, it'd be me taking the blame.
Miles, there's a new song on the go, isn't there? Tell us about Doug.
Yeah.
Tell us about Doug's song and give us a verse because I know you know the words.
I don't know all of them. I only know I woke up this morning and I'm feeling fine. I got Doug King on my mind.
He got rid of Sisu like he said he would. Oh yeah, I've got the feeling we're into something good. Yeah,
that's it.
Oh,
that's
there you go. Yeah.
Great singing there, guys. That's good.
Right. So,
what a song. What's the other new song that's out for Casey?
Oh yeah, Casey Palmer. I haven't got that song, but I've got his goal. Do you want to hear the song first, and then we'll put the goal on?
Go on then. Go on.
Okay. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That song took about half an hour to get from the back of block 15 down to the front, and then it still didn't get round the ground. I had to send it to his brother on Twitter for him to send to Doug so he could hear his own song.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't quite hear the words from where I was. I'm on the opposite end to you, but I could hear. I know the tune. I thought I couldn't quite hear the words. But obviously now I know what they were saying, but I can see that becoming quite a popular tune. Can't you?
Yeah,
tomorrow night I think it's going to be loud.
Cases it's to Manfred Mann's Do I Diddy, innit?
That's it.
Do I Diddy
do. Yeah, that's the one.
And,
I don't know the words though.
I know them when I'm in the terraces, but I don't know them when I'm sitting here. Is our number 45 something like that, isn't it? 45.
44, isn't it? Or 45, or whatever.
The song starts off, there she was just walking down the street. So I don't know what the words are.
I know when I'm singing them on the terrace, but don't put me on the spot tonight, please. Seriously.
Another one,
I mean,
another one
talking
with
about
short-term
Walker's
memory
done me
loss.
in. So yeah, we got. Yeah, go on, Ken.
A quick word about Palmer. It's been fantastic the last few games, hasn't he? And he's come in, done a good job. People were a bit sceptical about him when he first come in, about maybe his attitude or things like that, but he's settled in well, and he's scored some good goals. Certainly the free kick against Wrexham, and then he scored again, didn't he, at the weekend? And he's getting in there, and he's a good replacement, if you like, for O'Hare. Although we'd like, obviously, to see them both in the same team, if possible. But he's certainly stepped up to the plate, hasn't he, Miles?
Yeah. Oh, the lad's just been a breath of fresh air. It's something that we needed. I think we touched on it Sunday night, and we said that at the beginning of the season when O'Hare and Palmer were in the team, we said that it was great that we could have O'Hare and give him a rest because Palmer's in there. And they're sort of nearly like-for-like players. It's unfortunately that O'Hare got injured, but Casey Palmer stepped up to the plate and he's really, really played fantastically well. I think he was man of the match the game before last, and then he was. I think he was man of the match against Wrexham as well. I think, but the lad has just come in. He's brilliant. I think he's got super glue on his boots because he just doesn't seem to lose the ball very often when he's got it and he tries to take on people. He's absolutely superb, to be honest with you. I love him. He's ace.
Miles, I think he's got another 15% in him.
Yeah.
I agree with you. He's got great skill. He's got a velvet touch. He can finish a goal. But I'm waiting for him to really turn the afterburners on, to really hit those shots on target, to really find those killer passes. Because at the moment, I think he's playing at 80%. I think there's a bit more in him. I don't know why. I just think there's a real player in there rather than a decent player.
Yeah, I don't think he's 100% fit still. I still think he's coming back from injury. So I agree with you there, Ian. I think he's probably got another 15-20% in him, and so far he's just blooming brilliant. He really is. He's brilliant.
Mark,
someone's just.
I was just about to say,
Mark,
I've got to just about the Mark about Casey Palmer. I just wanted your view of Casey Palmer, Mark.
Yeah, I think he's been playing really, really well for us. I thought he played well on Saturday, just gone. I think Ian's right again. I think there's more to come from him. But the other thing he gives to the team as well is set pieces, because you're not always reliant on Hamer all the time. I mean, you look at the goal against Wrexham, for example. I think he's done really, really well. I think he's stepped up to the plate since O'Hare's been injured. I think he's had an excellent first season for us. I think the other thing to add though is I think he's a nice person. I think he seems to fit quite well with the team spirit, with the whole ethos that Robbins and Vivash wants to instill in the players. So I think from that point of view, I think he's exactly the right fit for the club, not just on the field, off the field as well. And that's a big thing for our club, isn't it? Is team spirit, and we've always got strong team spirit. And I think he comes across the type of person that fits perfectly for us.
Yeah. Stuart, what's your opinion on?
Yeah,
Casey?
it's funny you should say that actually, Mark. I was watching Deadline Day, and Tony Pulis was on, and he mentioned about when he was looking at players, he did a lot of research on their character and stuff. And I thought that was spot on. He just fits in with the whole ethos of what is Coventry City. A little, cheeky chappy kind of thing. He's got that little bit of spark about him. And I think you're exactly right, Ian. I think he's got at least another 15-20% to go in him. I think he should be on more set pieces. The only slight criticism that I have got of him is when he does his flicks and tricks, and I've mentioned this in my Twitter space as well, is just the areas that he needs to be careful where he does it, because he can do it sometimes a little bit too close to our box, and if we lose it and they break quickly, then we're in trouble. But further up the pitch, I've got no issues, because if we lose it, we've got Hamer and Sheaf, and then the wall at the back. So he's just got to be careful on where he does it. I'm not saying stop, because I'd never take anything away from him, but just be careful on where he does it. That's my only criticism, really. But no, brilliant player, and he's only going to get better.
Yeah, there's a nice comment coming here from Glenn. I love this comment. This is ace when it comes up. Palmer has found a club to call home now.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree,
I think that's right.
100%.
Yeah, I've got the words. I've got the words.
Yeah.
Right, so Wayne, thanks Wayne Vaughan, he watches us, thanks for this. So there he was, just walking down the street, singing do-a-dilly, dilly-dum, dilly-do, running past defenders, scoring 1 or 2, singing do-a-dilly, dilly-dilly-dum, dilly-do. He looks good, he looks fine, Casey Palmer's on my mind, and his City's 45, singing do-a-dilly, dilly-dum, dilly-do.
That's class. That's a class shot. Yeah.
Cheers, Wayne. Thanks, mate.
We'll expect you to be singing that, leading the chorus tomorrow then, Miles, at the Hawthorns.
Well,
he certainly deserves a song.
Do you know what, right? Do you know what? If he scores a goal like this.
Fantastic memories.
If I don't get you in the mood for tomorrow night, I don't know what will.
Didn't Mark Robbins say it was the first time he headed a ball?
Yeah.
Probably, to be fair.
You talk about him, his character, though. Robbins has had a bet with him about his goals. He's fined him for scoring an overhead kick in training because he hurt himself. He's taken the mickey that it's the first time he's headed a ball. You can only do that with players that don't sulk. And you can only do that with players that have got a bit of joie de vivre about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Callum's the same, and Godden's the same, and I think you're spot on. I think it was Stuart said it. You know, when you've got a team spirit where they're all having a bit of banter, taking the mickey, you know, going out for a beer together, perhaps it makes so much difference. And I think Palmer's spot on with that.
Yeah, I mean, and we spoke to him, didn't we, Miles, right at the beginning of the season at Walsall in that friendly after the match, and he come across there as a great lad, didn't he? And that's the first time a lot of people have heard him speak.
Yeah.
You know, and
what I liked about him was in that interview, you said to him about, you know, being a regular with the City and a fan's favourite, and he just turned around and said, "Yeah, well, 2 bad games, and they'll be slagging me off."
Yeah, he's right, though, isn't he?
Which is nice. Very down to earth, very
down to earth. I like him.
But for Ben Sheaf, it was a whole season.
Well, to be fair, Ben Sheaf's first season was shocking. I mean, he's been as good as he's been this year. He was as bad in his first season.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But again, that kid's got some guts. To have come back from such a shocker and play the way he's playing shows real mental toughness.
Again, it's like you touched on there, Ian, though, team spirit, team morale, team bonding. He's got through it by his teammates. His teammates have stuck by him, and his teammates have G'd him on and told him to keep going and going and going.
And his manager and his coaching staff. I think there's a lot to be said for what they do behind the scenes, the coaching staff. I think Robbins and AD are brilliant managers. Brilliant.
I was watching Sky Sports last night, the Man United players and Forest players turning up at Old Trafford, and the fans are miles away from the players' entrance, and the fans are calling them over, and the players are just walking in.
Yeah.
And there was 1 or 2 that waved at the fans. That was it. You go to the CBS, you stand outside the players' entrance, the players come over to the fans. That's the difference between Man United, big teams, to Coventry City, which has been run by Mark Robbins and AD Viadash, to get the connection with the fans, because a football club is nothing without the fans.
Yeah, spot on there, spot on, Miles. Yeah, I think
Didn't they have a sign up in?
Yeah, you only go on social media, you see all the photos of the kids with players and that, and it's brilliant because I see a lot of that on my social media feed. And
Yeah,
I think that it's definitely a harmonious relationship between the fans, the players, and it's great to see. Long may it continue.
yeah.
Go on in. I think you're about to make a point.
Did you see that clip on Facebook, lads, about Gus Hamer going to that kid's birthday party in Tile Hill?
Yeah.
Gus Hamer, Starman, walking down some little side alley in Tile Hill, risking wallet and watch, and he goes through this rickety old gate into this back garden. Obviously, a down to earth, ordinary working class house, and he's surrounded by the kids, and you don't have to do that.
That's class. Yeah.
He can always say, "I'm too busy."
Yeah.
Or I'm away that weekend. He takes the trouble, and a lot of the players do a lot of that. Visits to hospitals, and I think they're a great bunch. They're a great bunch.
Yeah, fantastic team spirit, and we can all agree on that. Because we all see it on a regular basis, and Mark Robbins and ADV Lash and the team have got the players in the right frame of mind and with the right attitude, obviously, toward the fans. I just want to wish a happy birthday, by the way, to Ronald's birthday, isn't it, Miles?
Ronald in Uganda.
Yeah, I'm not sure how old he is, but it's his birthday today.
It is. Ronald in Uganda. Yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ronald. Yes. I know he just listens sometimes. I'm sure he does. And very happy, many happy returns to him. Hopefully one day he might come over to see us.
Yeah, hopefully. One day.
Let me just give you, before we wrap up, I'm just going to give you a bit of information about the coaches tomorrow night. There's still plenty of places on the coaches here at the tavern. The coach leaves around 5:30, is it, Miles, tomorrow?
4:45.
Yeah, well, 4:45, so it's earlier enough, 5:30. 4:45. There's still quite a few places. If you've got a ticket and you don't want to drive to the game tomorrow, then if you come down the tavern, you'll get a lift to the ground and back safely. You won't have to worry about parking. And a meal, of course. Yeah, it's £18 the ticket. You get a meal, there'll be a burger and chips and a drink. So that's a bargain, really. So you won't have to worry about parking your car or anything like that. Jump on the coach, 18 quid. It's not too bad. Plenty of tickets left for the coach. So if you are driving and you don't fancy driving, jump on the coach, come down the tavern and get a drink and a meal before you leave. Also, we'll have a live stream, obviously, tomorrow outside the Hawthorns. Miles and myself will be there from 7 o'clock. We'll be talking to supporters in and around the stadium, and West Brom fans as well if they want to talk to us. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but majority do. Majority away fans do, don't they, Miles? This season?
Yeah, they do. Apart from Norwich fans, miserable buggers.
Yeah,
there you go.
That surprised me with Norwich because they're normally a family club, and I'm surprised they didn't want to speak to you.
Oh, and Watford. Watford didn't want to talk to us either.
Especially if we beat them.
They must have known they were going to get beat. That's why they didn't want to talk to us.
So tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, if you want to tune in for a live pre-match build-up to the game tomorrow night. We're just quickly going to get a prediction. We'd have some predictions. Just to remind you, Mark, what was your prediction that would win what?
I'll go 1-0 to Cov.
1-0 Cov win. Miles?
I'm sitting on the fence. 1-1.
1-1. Ian from France. Ian?
1-1.
1-1. And Stuart's by the side of me here.
1-1.
You two have taken mine as 1-1, so I'm going to go 0-0.
Yeah, 1-1.
I'll say 1-1 on CWR as well tomorrow morning, so I'm sticking by it.
Right, okay. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I think there'll be a last-minute goal from Big Vic to celebrate him staying with the Sky Blues. I think it's going to
better not wear my new shoes then, I?
Joy.
I better not wear my new shoes tomorrow night.
Just before we go, Miles, don't forget to message Ricky Hill for me, will you?
I will. I'll message him. Yeah, I'll message him straight after this. I promise you. Competition.
Okay, yeah,
Ken?
competition. We're just about to wind up on this competition. We ask you to like our channel. And subscribe
Miles,
to our
can you hear me?
YouTube
Don't
channel.
forget to message Ricky Hill.
Yes. Just before we go about the competition, we've ran a competition tonight for £25 voucher for food and drinks here at the tavern. All you have to do was like our channel, subscribe our channel, and comment tonight on our live feed. I'm just going to select how many people have entered. How many you got there?
So we've got 14 altogether. Let Stu pick the winner because he's our special guest.
Okay, Stu is live at the tavern. A number between 1 and 14.
14. Please. Pick a number between 1 and 14, but not number 8. No, I'm joking. Pick a number between 1 and 14.
Well, I'll go for what's on my back.
What's that?
We're going to reveal all now.
Go on, then. What is it? Can't see it.
Oh, it's lucky 7.
Number 7 is Wayne Vaughan, who sent us the lyrics for Casey Palmer's song.
There you go.
Well done, Wayne. You've won £25 voucher to spend down at the tavern.
And Miles will get your details off you, and we'll get that off to you in the post ASAP, so you can come down the tavern, get a nice meal and a couple of drinks for £25. That's not bad. Free night on the house.
Well, Ken, he sits behind me. He sits behind me. Block 15.
Oh, well, there you go. We'll get it to you then, Miles, and you can hand it to him personally.
Yeah.
Right, that's it. We've run out of time, I think. We've gone over, but who cares? We've enjoyed ourselves, haven't we, tonight? Mark, thank you very much for joining us, Mark Smith. You'll be live Sunday night's pod reviewing the West Brom game, yes?
Yeah, I should be on Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Ian, live from France. Thank you very much for joining us again. Thank you for your comments.
Pleasure. Play up Sky Blues.
Yeah, play up Sky Blues. Stuart, who's our special guest here live at the tavern.
Thank you very much. Just remember, tune in on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock on the Twitter space, All Things Sky Blue. Obviously, reviewing the game on Sunday and talk about the transfers, because obviously we haven't done that either.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay, and Miles, thank you very much as always for joining us and doing all the knobs and buttons behind the scenes for us tonight. And that's it. There is no more, I'm afraid. We've run out of time. Join us tomorrow live at the Hawthorns from 7 o'clock. Good night.
Yes.
Play up Sky Blue.